Thank you very much for the introduction. I would like also to say thank you to BFO, Beef at Guelph, and OMAFRA for inviting me today to give the presentation at the Virtual Beef Symposium 2023. So the title of my presentation today is Using Genomics in the Beef Herd. The presentation will be more focused to explain you how we improve using genomics, feed efficiency and methane emissions in the beef herd. But I would like to highlight that my research program is focused to improve, again, using genetics and genomics, several important traits for the beef industry. For example, not only feed efficiency and methane emissions, but also fertility and reproduction traits, meat quality traits, and also this is the content for today's presentation. I'm going to start giving a brief introduction about the sustainable beef production and how we can use genomics in the beef herd. Also, we will cover the economic benefits of sustainable beef production, and also will describe you some of the preliminary results that we obtain in some of the research projects, what we have learned, and also what currently we are working on. And then we will finish the presentation with some take-home messages about how genomics benefit you. So this is a summary, or a great graph that shows you how what is the impact of beef production on greenhouse gas emissions. So as you can see in this graph, livestock enteric emissions are the second largest greenhouse gas contributor among agricultural resources in Ontario. So regarding the greenhouse gas footprint of Canadian beef is around 2.6% and dairy 0.5%. So it means that for both Canadian beef and dairy production represent 3.1% of Canada's overall emissions. So that's why nowadays we have pressure for more sustainable beef production at global level, federal level, and provincial level. So, for example, at a global level, we have the Global Methane Pledge, which is the global initiative to reduce global methane emissions by 30% from 2020 levels by 2030. At a federal level, I would like to highlight that the major Genome Canada Climate Action Initiative, which is investing $30 million into 8 to 10 research teams to mitigate emissions. Also, as you can see listed under the federal level, the Canadian beef industry also has a goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 33% by 2030. We also see provincial pressures and priorities in improving sustainability and reducing emissions, as for example, BFO and OMAFRA priorities for provincial funding. So then I'm going to show you the importance of studying feed efficiency and methane emissions using genomics. So one approach to improving agriculture sustainability is improving the genetic selection for feed efficiency and methane emissions. As feed cost is the most highest variable cost in livestock production and feed efficiency is associated with methane emission, so then there is the potential for improved feed efficiency to have economic and environmental benefits. So based on that, so that's why there is a lot of room for improved feed efficiency and methane emission using genomics. So there is a large proportion of the variation in feed efficiency that is still unknown. That's why, again, there is a lot of room to improve both traits using genomics, because this is kind of new trait that we are improving. And functional genetic understanding of regulation of feed efficiency is still unclear. That's why it's very important to invest in funding for research to improve these traits, again using genetics and genomics. Still, there is a lot of things that we need to know. Another important aspect to consider when we study feed efficiency is the rumen, as it harbors a complex microbial community, and those microbes produce energy and also serves as energy products for the host. So in return, the host, so the animal, provides an anaerobic environment for the microbes, representing the host-rumen symbiotic relationship. But still, there is a lack of information on the relationship between the host and the rumen microbiome, and in particular, its relationship with the feed efficiency. So what we are doing in my research group is trying to study the genetics of the host, which means the animal, and then also the genetics of the rumen microbiome, okay? So then how this interaction host microbiome it's working, in particularly its influence on the feed efficiency. So then how genomics is being applied in the beef research. So basically nowadays we are very lucky to have these new and novel technologies available in livestock genomics. So among them, we have all these new technologies that we call high throughput sequencing technology, which we have all the information about the genome of the animal and also the information about the genome of the microbiome, the bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and all these microbiome. So with that, we can study not only the traditional genetic markers, also we can identify all the genes that are involved in this case to improve feed efficiency and reduce methane emission. Also, what are the functional markers that are associated with these traits? Also, what are the other regulatory elements in the genome of the animal, of the host, or the microbiome that again are affecting, in this case, feed efficiency and methane emissions. So all these new technologies that we have available in livestock help to identify functional genetic features that may be influencing feed efficiency and methane emissions. So this is some of the current experimental design and analysis workflow that we are working currently in some of the research projects. I would like to highlight the work here of Dr. Stephanie Lamb. She did a PhD with me a couple of years ago, and now she's a research associate in my lab and is the one running all these experiments for this research project. So what we are doing now currently at the Ontario Beef Research Centre, we are measuring different traits and information for 72 beef heifers. So for all these animals, we calculate feed efficiency and methane emissions related traits. And the idea is to then, once we have all these recording on all these traits related to feed efficiency and methane emission, we are going to select the two most divergent group of animals that we will classify as a high and low feed efficiency and as a high and low methane emissions. So with these animals, we are going to conduct analysis on both the host or the genetics of the animal and also the rumen microbiome, the genetics of all the microbiome of those animals, and see what is the interaction between the host and the microbiome. So the final goal is to identify key regulatory host genes and markers and hereditable rumen microbiomes which are present in high feed efficiency group of animals and low methane emission cattle. So as an example again of how genomics is being applied in beef research, so we identify these new genetic markers related to feed efficiency and methane emissions. We develop new rumen microbiome target tools for improved feed efficiency aspect. then we better understand the relationship between feed efficiency and other traits. And now what we are currently doing is validating key regulatory changes associated with feed efficiency and methane emissions. Then the next step, once we finish this validation, it will be apply functional information to the genomic selection strategies and animal breeding. So what it means, we are going to select and breed the animals that contains the good alleles, the good genetics, the good genes, the good markers that are associated to have to be more efficient and also produce lower methane emissions. So here are some of the economic benefits of produce sustainable beef. So regarding the relationship between environmentally and economical desirable traits, so we have that more feed efficient cattle leads to lower resources to produce the same amount of meat. Past studies show that methane emissions and feed efficiency have desirable phenotypic correlation. So that's why we can study both traits together, not to have an impact on both feed efficiency and methane emission. And the current project that we are working on can provide insight on genetic correlation between these two traits, between the methane emissions and feed efficiency in Canadian beef cattle. So regarding the improved profitability, there is a study that shows that breeding for lower methane emission and higher feed efficiency could lead to reduced feed costs by $108 per cow per year. Also, there are some studies in dairy cattle that they show the economic impact for breeding for lower methane emission and higher feed efficiency of a total of $210 million for the Canadian dairy industry. So this is a huge benefit, right? So then methane emissions is a loss of energy that could be attributed to meat production as well. So that's why there is a room still for more benefit by breeding for lower methane emission and higher feed efficiency. So what we have learned in the past and what we have developed or accomplished is that we develop new tools for identifying the genetic markers associated with feed efficiency and methane emission. So with all this amount of new data that we can generate and analyze, so there is not the need to first of all create the new softwares and tools to analyze this huge amount of genomic data. So this, we already did it. We published these bioinformatic pipelines and softwares, one in 2021 and another in 2022. So it means that in the 2 last years, we developed all these softwares that we need to analyze all this new genomic information. So this is done, is accomplished. Also identifying new candidate genetic markers associated with feed efficiency. And also identifying new isoforms of those genes that are associated as well with feed efficiency. This study we did in different breeds, including Angus, Charolais, and also some composite beef population. What we are working currently is into the insight on interactions between the host and rumen microbiome. So we are studying the genetic interactions between the host, so the genetics of the animal, and the rumen microbiome and its influence on feed efficiency in beef cattle. So we are doing this study as well using different beef cattle breeds, including Angus, Charolais, and a composite population, and as well the crossbreed population that mainly we have in the Ontario Beef Research Centre, which is Angus cross with Simmental mostly. Then also we are updating the new genetic evaluation system. This is in collaboration with Asites. So we have a project funded by MyTax, where Asites is the industry partner, and as a part of this project, we are developing and updating the new genetic evaluation system for the beef cattle industry. And also what we are currently doing is applying to a funding to the CLOC program, where we are trying with other researchers, with Katie Wood, Marcio Duarte, and Mike Steele. We are trying to get funded to have additional equipment at the Ontario Beef Research Centre to measure methane emission in all the animals. So this is what we are measuring currently at the Ontario Beef Research Centre. So we are measuring in all the animals traits related to feed efficiency, for example, feed intake, body weight, among other traits. Also, we are measuring methane emissions in all the animals as well. And also we are studying the rumen macrobiology. So with that, we are collecting samples of the rumen fluid for the animals to study the bacteria, archaea, methanogen, protozoa abundance in our animals as well. Also, we are measuring different rates related to meat quality, using, for example, the ultrasound equipment. And also we are genotyping all the animals in the Ontario Beef Research Centre to have as well all the genetic information together with the phenotypic information as well. So this is an example how we are working together to optimize opportunities, source of funding, leveraging projects, resources, and databases to optimize the impact. So here I have some of the projects that I have confirmed or approved to develop this research on feed efficiency and methane emissions and how we can improve these two traits using genomics. So I have currently funding from NSER, MITAX, with Asites as our industry partner, and also from BCRC. So also we are waiting for the decision of some projects that also we apply for. One is for the Genome Canada Climate Action, as I mentioned before. This is a big projects with a good amount of funding, again, focus on the climate action to improve feed efficiency and reduce methane emission in the beef cattle. Then also I applied to some projects to BFO and also Ontario. And as I mentioned, also we apply with other researchers in the department to the CLOC funding program to get equipment for to measure methane emissions at Ontario Beef Research Centre. This is basically the project team, the core. So we are collaborating with Dr. Marcio Duarte and Dr. Katie Wood from the Department of Animal Bioscience at the University of Guelph, and also with collaborating with Dr. Lilu Wan, which is a professor at the University of Alberta. And also, as I mentioned before during the presentation, I would like to highlight the hard work by Dr. Stephanie Lang, which is a research associate in my group. So again, we collaborate with other researchers and institutions across Canada and internationally as well, but this is the core project team. So, and now as a take message home, this is just some aspects of how genomics benefit you. So we can improve feed efficiency and reducing methane emissions through target key regulator host genes and markers, so studying the genetics of the animal. We can improve the understanding of genetic relationship between genes, between markers, and also between the traits, and how is the biology that is behind the feed efficiency and methane emission traits, and how they are not correlated between them. We can have a higher accuracy on genomic selection models by including genomic information to improve economically important traits for the beef industry, not only feed efficiency and methane emission, as I mentioned at the beginning of my talk, but also improving all other economically important traits, for example, fertility and reproduction traits, meat quality traits, and also some other health traits. We can also target novel host rumen microbiome applications using heritable host and rumen microbiome features. And also there is the genetic gains in feed efficiency and methane emission through updated genomic evaluation system that we are working in collaboration with the sites. Other industry benefits could be additional collaborations with large-scale research initiatives in improving beef sustainability. As I mentioned, one that we just applied together with other researchers at University of Guelph, for example, Dr. Liluwan, is this climate action, a huge, large-scale research initiative funded by Genome Canada. Also, we can leverage in ongoing research databases, projects, and resources, as we are also doing currently, as I just mentioned a couple of slides ago. And also, we can connecting with emerging new projects, for example, beef on dairy, creating new opportunities and build connections with the dairy industry as well. So I would like then to finish saying thank you again to BFO and OMAFRA for all the support, always through all these years, all tremendous continuous support, and also to the Beef at Guelph, of course. And here is just some recent pictures from some of the presentation or disseminating of the results that we just did at the Ontario Beef Research Centre in November 29th during the BFO and Agri-Food Alliance event at the Ontario Beef Research Centre. And again, these are state-of-the-art facilities that we are very lucky to have these unique facilities in the world to conduct novel and state-of-the-art research. So again, thank you to BFO and OMAFRA for all the tremendous support.